Welcome to episode 6 of the Digital Soapbox with me, Dan Ricardo, on behalf of Strategy Plus. And today I just wanted to cover another sort of bug of mine within the industry. And it comes across less often now, but every now and again we maybe sort of deal with a client and they already have an existing website with another agency and they like us to work on that website, whether it be SEO or what have you. So, but we come across, and their website is a sort of a custom-built CMS system and platform. And the reason why I've got the air quotes is because when I say custom, is because that they're not really custom-made for them. Even if I looked online now, I would find a company that's offering and promoting custom CMS, and even they say we've invested in our own easy-to-use custom CMS. So it's not as though they create a content management system for every client from scratch based upon their client needs. They already have one that they've built, and they may sort of custom it slightly depending on the website they're building. They might sort of change the functionality slightly, but it's based upon the same one that they keep sort of rolling out for every other client, really. So I wouldn't say it's entirely, I think the custom element is misleading. Custom CMS, so CMS is a content management system that most people are probably well aware of, and if they've managed a website now, as against say an open source platform such as WordPress, Joomla, Drupal, Magento, OpenCart, etc. These are all sort of fairly well known open source platforms, freely available for everybody to use. And I came across one chap that had his own agency developing websites, and he suggested that everybody that used WordPress or developed in WordPress was sort of a bedroom developer and not a serious developer. Now, we've been developing websites since '97, and we did start by having our own custom content management system that we rolled out for all of our clients, and we maybe tinkered slightly depending on the type of website that we were doing. But probably 8 years ago, I think, it was quite obvious how WordPress had come along and all the other open source platforms had come along, and the amount of functionality and features that you get by default with the sort of community editions, free editions, was just incredible. And to be honest, we weren't really up to competing with that, so we had to ditch what we'd been working on, developing on for 10 years, and sort of learn all over again about how to use or which platform we should use, WordPress, Magento, and see how we could actually develop and use those as best we can for our clients. So, for example, WordPress, these are all the features that come sort of free to use. You can obviously just search this by going to Google and searching WordPress features. Or Magento, this is the community edition. So this is free to use. And these are all the features that you get as standard. Now, I know I keep using the word free. It doesn't mean that if you're going to have a Magento website, it's going to be cheap. It's not necessarily going to be cheap as such, but it is going to be a lot cheaper than if you sort of created this kind of functionality from scratch. I mean, you're talking, 50 grand if you're going to, and plus if you were to create a system like that. I mean, Magento has been built by hundreds of developers around the world over, 15 years to get to this point. So to ask your local agency to do the same thing, it's going to cost you an absolute arm and a leg. So you got Magento, you got WordPress, and I would say probably other than the amount of features that you get by default free of charge with these platforms, you also have a huge amount of plugins developed by developers all around the world. So, I mean, you've got 55,000 plugins that you can purchase for, some of them are free, some of them are relatively little cost. So you're talking maybe 100 quid for a plugin or something, and you've got lots of reviews and all the rest of it to make sure that they work. And with Magento, you've got probably nearly 5,000 extensions. And a lot of these extensions are from your well-known systems such as, I don't know, MailChimp, Xero, all your CRM systems, Zoohoo, and Aptivo, for example. So these are, you know, any major digital system will have a plugin or an extension for these major open source platforms such as WordPress and Magento. So if you want all your systems to work seamlessly, then it's better to use an open source platform that will probably have all these plugins ready and available for you, rather than asking for your agency to then develop something new to integrate your existing system. You also have themes. If you wanted to, you know, reduce the cost in design of the front end of the website, then you have Theme Forest that has, you know, thousands of themes that you can purchase for, you know, $50 or something like that. And again, you still need to spend a lot of time tweaking those designs, and you need to know how to do that using HTML and all the rest of it. But it still saves you a lot of time. So you can get a website that could be, you know, could cost typically tens of thousands of pounds, and you could probably get it done for less than £10,000. Security updates with the plugins. So obviously it is open source, and might be a bit of a downside that the source is openly available for anybody, including hackers and all the rest of it. So you are vulnerable sometimes to people trying to sort of hack into your system, but WordPress do constantly have security updates, whereas your local agency might not be going as far to do that. With custom websites, we've come across, our clients have been tied in. They cannot move their website away from their agency because it is their property, it's their code, so they won't allow them to move it. Which basically means they're tied in and they're limited to use them in terms of turnaround and cost. If they want an update, then it's down to the agency to say how much that is. If they, you know, what is our client supposed to do if they've invested £10,000 in a website? Now they're being overcharged for all the updates. They're less inclined to move away because they've just invested £10,000 in a website. So they're waiting for, you know, basic updates to be made that take too long, cost too much, and we see that all the time with our clients, and that's what really kind of frustrates us. And we can't have access, direct access to their code and improving in terms of performance for SEO and all the rest of it, because they say it's their code and we shouldn't have access to it. And I think that's pretty much it. So really, it bugs me when agencies are still using their own custom platform or content management system when there's so many open source platforms out there that can do the job 10 times better than them at half the price. So I would strongly recommend that if you do deal with an agency that is suggesting that they should have a custom built CMS, that you think long and hard and ask them why you shouldn't be using an open source. Now, it might be the case that you are a bank or you're in the National Health Service or something like that, and therefore you may be best to go down the custom route to make sure it is, you know, highly secure and it is, you know, completely unique to your needs. But no doubt you'll probably have the budget to pay for that if you are the NHS or a bank. So that's my opinion on custom platforms versus open source platforms. And if you have any questions, do get in touch.